Yeah, so going for the Nautilus, my one concern about the Nautilus is when the engage comes in, you are a little bit squishy. You can kind of get caught in the blender a bit and get blown up with the Sivir, but wanting to have a bit more agency. There is a decent amount of setup of this composition.
There is the spell shield out from Doctom. Down to the bottom lane comes Cuz. Let's see whether this Xin Zhao can make this dive work. This could be dangerous. Let's see how Gen.G are going to handle it. There is the start onto Dura. The Shattering Strike's fantastic though, as Peter is definitely dead. First blood goes over to Gen.G, and Doctom even almost dying to that last turret shot. A 1-for-1, but more money to Gen.G. But Doctom going to help Cuz out here as the grubs are being taken. Canyon looking for an opportunity here, as it is going to be the first grub secured by KT, but it looks like they're just going to leave the next two. And so that will be an objective counter picked up here for Gen.G. The Drake is still actually live, as we did see Cuz, you know, thrust his spear into it one time, but otherwise not too much else going to come out of it.
Yeah, that was a good call from KT to back off. Perfect here.
Oh no, this could be real trouble. He can go between worlds, he can go stealth, he's got a lot of tools that he can use.
I bet he'd like to stay between those worlds and not come out again, but I'm not sure he can.
That's the problematic part. He is going to be waiting underneath this turret. There's the ulti, bounces to the other side, but it's a mini taunt and a very dead Aurora. Yeah, there was no way he was getting out of that one.
No, I think the silver lining is that Duro got the kill. I think that is the best outcome.
Didn't use Flash.
Yeah. Played for Keen and Canyon is not a great outcome of that situation. Doctom will get some play gold of his own, but really not as much in comparison. There's two grubs and just the Gwen and the Wukong with that Sheen tower taking potential. KT don't really have a great spot to get away in on this. You know, we've got good vision set up from Gen.G. See Cuz trying to move in through the top side.
Oh, looks to be just taking this. Picking the gap there is Peter.
That's a difficult choke to approach from if Duro wants to make something happen.
Well, Peter just not going to be able to help take this Rift Herald, but can they find themselves a fight? That's the question. Good vision is here, but Duro just going to get exploded, but able to flash himself out. The double knockoff comes through as Galio makes his way in. Crescent Guard to try and keep Cuz alive as he flashes away. That's a lot of damage here, but it's mainly onto a clone, as now we're just driving Shelly through Peter, who does manage to buffer a pretty nice dredge line. But meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, the Winds of War devastating KT, and lots of people taking lots of damage, but no one dying except that turret.
That was such a crazy fight for no one to go down in. Anyone actually going down. The effort is there though. Gen.G now looking for this red buff. They might have found Cuz.
They definitely did. There's the Cyclone. Killer Instinct comes in as Cuz able to cross on over to the red buff. The flash comes forward and Cuz will be taken out. But the max range hook comes in from Peter. Finds the triple knockup as well. Still, Doctom doesn't quite have the damage as Perfect is coming down. And there is the kill. It's unfortunately Peter that locks it down. Then the rest of them as Perfect says, nope, we ain't out of this one yet.
And now a mid lane tier 1 is going to be the reward in the back of that play.
This could swing the goal completely back.
100%. And this is, you know, Doctom getting the value, isn't it?
And Chovy wants to defend this turret, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so. And I don't think Perfect can defend this one either. So that will go down. A 1-for-1 trade, but inner worth more than the outer.
Yeah, KT have the river control now and will pick up that Scuttle Crab. I think it's safer just to play for the Dragon. I think that's the correct call. And if you win the Dragon fight, go for the Arakan.
That might be the option that they're going to look at here, as Winds of War going wide, Shattering Strike not finding the mark, as KT have started off this Dragon. Perfect on a great flank angle here at the same time as the rest of Gen.G all just grouped up. There's the flash in from Canyon, finds the Cyclone, but out goes BDD. The Drake still amongst it, Keen getting down there as well. Hasn't quite pressed the Gwen's immune button, as Peter just takes a lot of his health bar, but not too much more, as there's a Magnus Storm to come in. The heroic entrance comes down as well. It's Perfect that locks down the Dragon, but can they stay alive in this fight, as Cuz is looking for Keen, and he does manage to take him out. Doctom still pretty high on the health bar, but it's Peter that's going to be taken out first, followed immediately by Canyon, as now Perfect dives into stealth. The flash out there from Ruler, but they are now on the wrong side of the rift, and Gen.G in a really awkward position. The Chovy finds the big taunt. This is the Chovy position, but still, he is going down so incredibly low, and not this time Chovy. This time it's BDD having that last laugh, and KT will crush them.
But they've lost so much, and they have nothing left. No more gas in the tank. So KT can charge forward and finish them off. It gets a little bit messy, but his spell shield from Doctom was so big. He goes down, but he's able to trade with Ruler. and that means they can clean up the fight.
I really loved how PDD played that as well, using Tibbers to make sure that they're not hiding in any brushes either as they move their way into their jungle.
They need to approach from different directions, and apparently they need to stop Baron.
Well, that is exactly what they're going to do, as Peter does find a hook here onto Dura. Let's see whether they do turn, as Canyon and Ruler are sticking on this Baron for quite some time. Keen on a flank angle. There's the Magnet Storm from Dura that brings him in. Ruler with the killer instinct, but he immediately just gets ulted by everyone. Still, the Sivir is going to go down, and Gen.G find their mark. Perfect is now in so much trouble as Cuz trying to deal with Keen. The flash out from Perfect is exactly that, though, and he takes down the Gwen. Still, BDD cannot stand up to Chovy, who seems immune to taking damage in that particular matchup, and it's messy. KT stopped the Baron, but that is nowhere near as clean as what we saw from last fight. And that is likely what KT gonna fight for next. As okay, instead it's Gen.G that starts off the fight. Some needlework, but Peter's still pretty healthy. Chovy making his way in. The Winds of War come down. There is Duro with the Magnet Storm on the only one is BDD. Finds the Black Lord. Ruler is executed! And the Between Worlds is gorgeous here for Perfect as well. Still the three-man taunt. And Chovy just showing that it's real difficult to kill this Galio. But kill him they will, as KT look to ace them again. Chovy's still going to try and get out of here, but Perfect should be able to tidy this one up. And KT, they can take themselves Soul Point, and they can crush some turrets if they'd like.
Dokdam once again survives for just way too long. The Galio incapable of finishing him off, and KT clutch another fight.
Still, they are going to group up, move in. And Keen looking for that flank angle one more time. They dive in. The Magnet Storm's fantastic. As here's the Wombo combo out of Gen.G. And the Sivir goes down first. Ruler will soon to follow, though, as Canyon's also dead. They've taken out the Rel at the same time, and the KT War Machine will not be stopped here today. Chovy just has to watch as they all destroy his teammates. And KT can just take a Baron. I will. But he almost dies to the Baron. Doesn't actually do so. It's Cuz in this pit by himself. And we'll see whether he waits the couple of seconds to give this over to... No, he didn't. He gave it to Dokdam and not BDD. It's now ticking towards 1,000 gold as far as this Rebel Baron power play. And still 2 minutes on the clock. Dokdam now moving into this mid lane. Will be able to take down this inner turret. That'll be the first.
Doing so much work in these fights. And the Aurora is just monstrous. You know, that lead on the Aurora is so much more relevant than that lead on the Galio.
Oh, God. Boomerang Blade really doing work here as Keen bouncing around Perfect, who's in a slightly uncomfortable position. Still able to just be tricksy. Gets out of the way of the Gwen. Now the inner turret is going to fall as Duro in so much trouble. Look at Peter. He is walking with such authority right now for KT. Yeah, but look at this. They just can't do anything about it, and it's such a problem because most of the time an Aurora cannot stand by herself and fend off a 1v1 situation, right? Like, it's just not a thing that she can do. But she's so incredibly fed that there is nothing Gen.G can do about it. BDD spotting him out perfectly here. Does have flash available as well as he is charging this stun. He will have it up. As now Keen mega cones to get on over towards Perfect and Peter. The needlework has come on through there as there's the interrupt onto Chovy. I don't know whether he's exactly the target that they're looking for as Keen goes golden right in the middle of the fight. The Magnet Storm is onto everyone, and now Ruler has a huge shield as he gets into the back line. They've wiped out BDD. The flash out from Perfect. He's not offering the damage anymore. And KT! Oh, it was looking so good until it wasn't.
After all that, Gen.G finally get that Perfect engaged. The AoE comes in, and I think they're just looking to end the game. Perfect, long death timers and his teammates. I think it might not be enough. There's just one minion wave coming in now, but there's another coming in soon. I think they can do it. I think they can end.
Oh, God, we'll see whether Perfect can hold this off. But like you say, it's going to be such a difficulty. He's on the broomstick, looking to deal with the minions. Does a decent job at that. And there are super creeps as well, but here is another minion wave like you're talking about, and these structures do not last. And out of the jaws of defeat, Gen.G say no. You're going to have to try better than that, KT.
Make a lot more progress than if you just to run at them.
You can also Tempered Fate your own team to avoid Mega Inferno Bomb damage.
It is
which would be pretty funny. Never seen it before, don't even know whether it would necessarily be a good idea.
And in fairness, I think if they get triple Grubs here, they're pretty happy overall.
Yeah, honestly, Grubs, very, very good for this composition.
Yeah. But Gen.G responding well, I think, to this mid lane pressure that KT are consistently trying to apply.
So Cuz will be able to finish this one off. It is going to be a Cloud coming up next, so sad for me, but there's no Cloud Soul. It could be an Infernal, Mountain, something like that. Could also be another Chemtech, which would be worrying. This is a Ziggs game, so, I mean, Orcs is going to be paying attention, so we can't really blame him for
I want it to be an Infernal. I really do.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that would be pretty peak. All right, Ghoulie Wall goes down. That's going to block Duro. And cease and desist. And I think Perfect is going to acquiesce. And where have we seen this play before? Yes, it was last game. Makes more sense to go for this one that does give you that little bit more durability as the flash forward into the Solar Flare here. Zenith Blade will connect. Tempered Fate is going to buy Duro a little bit of time, but I don't know whether it's going to save him. As never mind, they get over the wall though, and there it is. Docked Arm hits him with that water balloon, and down goes Brad. Yeah.
So, look, I can't sit here and say I would have made that choice. I would have died there, but I respect it.
Sometimes it's worth it, but maybe this isn't for Chovy as Peter goes in. Chovy actually still with Flash, so never mind. He was absolutely fine the whole time. Oh, okay. Well, there is still a turret here as the minefield goes down. Canyon is definitely dead, and Docked Arm will be taken out by the Dawning Shadow, but I think he's okay with it. Trading that 1-for-1.
Yeah, good chain around there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get away from the ult from Ruler, so it's a 1-for-1, but Jungler dead.
All right, another Kennel goes down here as Cuz just needed to press out on anyone to try and keep himself healthy, and down he will go. Tempered Fate over the wall, just predicting the flash, because doesn't press the button. And KT kind of dropping the ball in that particular moment.
Bit of a disaster to take down the enemy jungler and then lose out on the Dragon. Ruler and Duro just running Cuz down. Unable to get in range of either of them to really get any healing from that Sundered Sky. And it's one of those moments where you're like, kind of, do I need the flash? Do I need the flash? And in the moment, you're like, I'm just going to flash. I don't want to risk it.
And I think I respect that.
Kind of feel the regret afterwards. First tower taken by Ziggs, though. Doesn't even need the wave. It's on the back of his Ziggs.
Be a big one. And with the Rift Herald going down, they're actually going to even things out when it comes to these objectives as well. So feats of strength still on the cards for KT. Even though Gen.G just need to focus on getting this next dragon if they want to take that one down for themselves as well. But that could be where the next fight is. Only 500 gold in it between these two squads. So nothing much at all. And I feel a little bit better for what KT can actually make with this composition later on in the game. It is a little finicky. It is not necessarily like your very standard team fighting comp. And the Mega Cone, because of course it is a Chemtech Soul again. Okay, Keen in so much trouble. The Zenith Blade says that's a dead Ambassador. Chovy now trying to run his way out, and he will be able to do so with the Phase Rush. Because at least then there's a reason. Okay, Duro in a whole host of trouble. Mega Inferno. Oh, okay! Oh, what? Okay, well, Docked Arm, I guess, can just say goodbye to...
Now looking for this mid-tower.
All right, Chovy in the Ghoulie Wall as the Maiden getting involved as well. Hextech Minefield comes on through because just going to ride Shelly into that turret. Will be able to take it down. Minute and a half on this Chemtech Dragon. Ruler is hit by a bouncing bomb and an ult. He is just dead, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they both...
Okay, well, now he just walks up, takes a turret shot, and maybe the Ziggs isn't even going to hit him as the bouncing bomb is going to go wide, but the Zenith Blade is still going to connect. He the Mega Inferno Bomb! And that is a strike if ever I've seen one! Takes over the game performance from the champion. Because I think as soon as that happens, people are going to stand up and recognize we're going to start seeing Ziggs bans, because this champion is in a pretty ridiculous spot right now as down goes the turret. Thus is the way of the Ziggs to allow them to secure it without a fight here. As the Cosmic Binding is so good there from Duro. Peter taking a lot of damage as he does make his way out with that magical journey. Mega Cones to get back to the rest of the team as well. As Canyon makes his way over the wall as Perfect on a flank angle. Ruler taking so much damage. So this Ziggs is a monster, and oh my goodness, that wasn't even the sweet spot, and Ruler is almost dead, but he's not, and gets the piercing darkness out. The Ziggs is still popping off though as Canyon down so incredibly low, and it is a bloodbath once again in this mid game as KT take over.
Decimation from KT then.
And yeah,
no, I'm excited to see this. He's going through again.
All right, there we go. Seismic Shove gonna miss. And so Duro's out of there. There is an inhibited turret that was taken in the mid lane. That happened as well. As we've got pings onto the Ziggs from his own team. They're like, what the heck is going on? As the Ghoulie Wall is just gonna trap Keen in here perpetually. And finally, we are going to see this Arakan go down as the Maiden was helping Cuz. Yeah, Perfect's like, yeah, dude, I'm helping you out. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
I do need to ask you now, is this your favorite game of the year so far?
I think it might be.
Okay, well, the public execution onto Perfect here. He's looking to see whether he can keep himself alive, but he can't. As once again, just going to get picked off because with a casual subjugate, but otherwise not too much going to occur. They're Trundle over here. Peter is clearing out some vision as Perfect can get that Ghoulie wall in to try and stop this. Canyon's out of the pit already, looking for a flank angle as they do peel away. And Perfect does spot out Canyon there with that Morning Mist. As in goes Peter, actually. Mega Inferno Bomb just misses everything entirely. And Peter does have to try and get out of there, but he's not going to be able to. And look at the sad Satchel, just explodes without doing anything in Peter's life. Yep, Kennel goes down, Chovy able to walk around it as Perfect is making his way in. 50% health on the Drake. The KT are looking for the fight. Tempered Fate does absolutely nothing, as there is a Drake secured for Gen.G. That is Soul Point available, but can they keep themselves alive and find the team fight? Mega Inferno Bomb onto 3 is gigantic. Flash out from Canyon Keen, now being that Soul frontline. And Gen.G just holding them at bay, and the catch onto Perfect is too good! And Gen.G are able to eviscerate him. Now it's Canyon that makes his way forward. It's ambitious, but it's working! Chovy taking a lot of damage, but dishing out way more. It's a double kill as the Ziggs goes down! And out goes BDD as the last man standing.
Once again, KT in control, but they fumble it in a critical team fight. BDD looking for a pick, the flash in!
Oh my goodness, Chovy just getting on top of him here as BDD really wants to thread the volley. That looked a little bit like tilt as he goes down, and the ace is completed for Gen.G.
Baron gonna be the reward as well, and now consistently the most KT you can ever imagine. It's just, they're always KT.
They really are. A bit fiendish as well as BDD, as we can see in the inventory, as in goes Canyon, looks for that backline as they're looking to just execute Doctom, but that's a great satchel still. It's a trade of a buy for a Doctom, and Doctom was so much more important. Ruler is still standing here as Cuz just walking away. Ruler deals with the turret, and Gen.G, I think they have just found their window to take over this game completely.
Gonna be able to push up mid here with the Baron as well. Not really enough wave clear from these two to do much against them. The two melee champions cannot step up against this 4-man from Gen.G. The CC would just mean insta-death. They'll take this mid inhibitor, probably back off after this, but the lead now, we saw so much of this game defined by a 2,000, maybe 3,000 at most gold lead. 8,000 lead for Gen.G at this point.
Mega Inferno Bomb in if you do manage to cheat some vision of the area, as KT are at least going to be able to slink their way over. And so Peter looking for an engage angle. Zenith Blade does bring him in. It's the Bard that actually locks this one down, as there is Canyon finding his way in. Tempered Fate to allow them to reposition. Canyon survives somehow! And Gen.G with the Chemtech Soul! And they were now able to march into the enemy base, and once again it is just BDD left alive. That was illegal, Canyon. Like, why is he still alive?
Saved by his team, the support's there from Gen.G and KT, not as close as the last one, but 2 games where they were in a winning position, a commanding position, but unable to close it out. Gen.G unrelenting, it feels like, in KT. A lot of hopes, unfortunately, dashed in this series.
Oh, man. And we thought that it was a sad one last time around for KT, but that was sad because it looked like there was no hope. And the problem with this one is it looked like there was hope until it was absolutely gone. Peter goes in once again because he needs to try desperately to do something. BDD does the same thing, but the Nexus is still going to reach the same fate. Gen.G, a 2-0 over KT that could have just as easily been a 0-2.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.